song right.
Can anybody get points for that reference?
Point Break?
For what?
Yeah.
Yes!
Let's go.
We can't keep these?
Those are giant spoons for
Those
game
are
spoons.
Oh, that's fun. I
Why
didn't
do we
realize
never
was
play
fun.
that?
Our kids don't play games back there. I guess we just need to
Just do them.
put Braden in charge of like
Playing
starting
giant
like a
spoons?
game riot. So he just starts playing giant spoons and giant Uno, and it just catches like wildfire.
Is this falling? I feel like this is falling.
I know too well. PTSD.
That's as tight as it's going to get. Are we still good with the levels?
Let's
pretty
go.
Good, pretty good, pretty good. Okay, everybody. No.
Welcome back, friends.
We don't know what we're doing.
We don't. Yeah.
So this episode, we are going to be tackling another one of the questions that our youth group provided for us when we asked some of the things you're dealing with, some of the things you would want to learn more about. And so this one in particular, I think it's a really good one. And it was very common with a lot of the things that were on the cards that we asked them to fill out. And that is loneliness. And so there were several different forms of loneliness, but this one in particular is how do you feel lonely but still have friends? And so that's what we're going to be diving into today for this pod. And so we would love to have your conversation as well. And so comment with questions as we go through this, but we hope that we're able to provide some form of practical help for you guys in regards to feeling that loneliness, yet still having friends or being connected. So that's what we're talking about today. So excited. We have a special guest today. So
Is it me?
you're the only different one here. And so you're coming back for the second time. Your first time was it not last year, but a year before last.
Ago?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For our Halloween episode. And so we were dressed in our 80s garb. So we were talking about, I think, relationships at that time, weren't we?
were.
I think so. I know it was the Halloween episode.
So welcome back, my beautiful wife, Renee Ellis. Yay!
Thanks.
So we're excited about that. So let's go ahead and dive in. So, I mean, why do I feel lonely even when I have friends?
Because you're boring.
Whoa.
Turning it back on them.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
Real quick. You're boring.
You're boring.
Maybe
No,
you
that's so
suck.
mean. Yeah. Yeah.
Can I say that? Am
I
allowed
thought
to
Maddie
say
was talking to me. I already feel really bad because a game
No,
that we
no.
played and I didn't do very well. She just
no.
poured salt in the wound. Thanks, Maddie. No, please expound.
Expound?
Expound. Expound on
Oh.
what you were saying.
Elaborate.
On being boring? I don't know, dude. It's like when
You're supposed
you never want to connect with your friends. When you just text dry and say, K, whatever. That's cool. Like, dude, have some
Thumbs up emoji.
Yeah, exactly. Like, talk to them like they're a person, I guess. Don't be boring. That's my thought. That's one of the things why maybe you're feeling lonely because your friends are like, dude, I'm not putting effort into that. That's just whack.
That's a good point.
It is.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Honestly, I think it really goes along
I don't
with like the surface or the depth of relationships, the depth of how much of a friend that we are and the depth of the friendships that we have, right? I think that goes along with that.
Yes.
Because if you're really you don't have depth to a relationship, then it's just kind of like, oh, hey. Apparently, in some circles with some people, that just going back with a thumbs up to the comment that they make on a text
Oh, gosh.
is offensive.
Oh, really?
I've never heard that.
Yeah, I had heard
What?
that.
It was
Yeah.
new.
I
shocking.
understand the context a little bit. Like, when you send, because I've had this happen to me, if you send a certain message and, like, they respond in a certain way, and it's kind of like you know that they're not going to like how it's received, and they hit you with the thumbs up, you're like, yeah, they didn't love that.
Oh.
So I understand it. But.
What I don't like is there's no middle ground. You got a thumbs up and you got a heart. And there's a lot of times when people make comments like, I feel like it deserves more than a thumbs up, but I'm not sending a heart because that's just weird.
Or you can send the exclamation point.
Maybe.
Yeah, but then that's like aggressive. It's like, look at my message.
Wait, but you guys know you can change the reactions and like react with an emoji, right?
I do know that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
just
do that
start doing
occasionally.
that. Like use the skull. That's a good medium.
That one's like, I'm dead. Yeah.
You're dead to me.
I was
Wow.
going to say, in talking about what you just said, I think if we're lonely and we have good friends, I think it could be an indicator of either our friend, like we're not going deep enough with our friends, kind of like what you said. We aren't going deep enough, like so people don't really know us. We're not being transparent enough in having deep friendships. Or it could be that our friends are the ones that we don't feel safe with our friends. Maybe the friends aren't providing that safe place for you to truly be known. So I think it can be both ways. I think it can be us, reflective on us, but also reflective on who we're hanging out with. Maybe they can't be trusted.
I like it. So much wisdom.
I remember when, I don't remember, I think it was like when I was in high school, it was pretty prevalent, but there was like the distinction between like friends and acquaintances. And like, I think a lot of us get really confused with the two and we just lump everyone in, oh, they're my friend because like I know them, but they're really more just like, no, you just happen to know this person. Because I would say like a lot of people that I went to high school with, like I haven't kept up with a lot of them, and I would consider a lot of them just be kind of acquaintances, you know. But a lot of the people that I went to college with, like I established really good connections with, and I would say those are my friends, you know. So, and I think that definitely plays into the loneliness part for sure.
Yeah, that's good. So, trying to give some practical information, one of the questions you can ask yourself, if you do have friends, but you're still feeling lonely, do those people know the real you? Because you had made the mention of like sometimes that's a reflection on us, and then sometimes it's a reflection on the people that we look at as friends. So this would be more of an internal question. Do people know the real me?
Yeah.
And so if that's something you battle with, I would say start asking yourself that question, because, you know, do people know like what you struggle with? You know, do they know when somebody asks you like, how's your day? And you're just like, good. You know, it's just like the default answer.
Yeah.
But like,
Are you being real?
are you being real? Now, granted, let's just be very clear. You know, don't have those conversations with everyone, because then you're that person. And when I say that person, it's like you're just looking for that surface answer when you're like buying something at the gas station. You know, you're getting your energy drink and you're looking across the counter and you're like, hey, how's your day? And they're like, well, you know, geez, well, my dog died and then my spouse left me. You know, it's like all these different things going down the road. Like, don't tell it to everybody.
Right.
But we're talking about having friends that are close friends or good friends, quality friends, to be able to be honest and vulnerable and be the real you.
Yeah.
Is what I would say. One of the questions that I would ask.
Dude, I was talking about this at lunch with one of the guys, but Kyle McGraw, this guy was explaining like how Kyle is like completely Kyle. Like he's always always himself, and you know that he is going to shoot you straight with like everything, and he's just going to be himself. And so I think like that type of attitude in terms of our friendships is so important, just because we can't be held accountable if we're not real with the other people, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think that's so important.
And I think some of the telltale signs is like you're feeling like nobody really understands me, and I feel like I'm unseen. You know, these types of things that you're kind of like, these internal battles that you're feeling could be a reflection that there's nobody that you're allowing to see the true you. And so the Bible is very specific about the Bible is very specific about believers that we are to bear one another's burdens or carry one another's burdens. You know, that's part of what being the church is about. Yeah. And so we should be able to be a safe space for somebody to be real with us, for them to say, you know what, I'm struggling with X, Y, Z, and us not overreacting, but saying, how can I help? Right? And accepting that person where they're at in their mess. And giving them that safe space to be the real themselves.
And if they don't accept that, like let's say you are real with them and they then start to create distance or they don't want to be around you, it's like that's proving also that they're not really a good friend to you. They're just more of a surface level friendship. And so at that point, that would go into you don't have great friends.
Yeah. Honestly, I think the second question that you can ask yourself is, are my friendships deep or just social?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I feel like in certain personality types, this is probably like easy for them to get into the social friendships, the very small talk, just like, you know, back and forth, very surface level stuff. I, as a somewhat of an extrovert, can tend to lean towards that. And be surface on my conversation. So I have to stop and be intentional about people that I go deep with. So, but yeah. So are your friends more like, are they personal friends, like real, or are they just that social friend?
You know, for me, the way I kind of like discovered the difference between those two, because like I think it's not necessarily bad to have both. Like I think we have friends that were kind of just like surface level, and when, you know, we have class with them or we play a sport with them or whatever, right? That's kind of it. But for me, when I was in college, I had people that I was in classes with and, you know, I saw around campus. I'd always say hi to and stuff, but like didn't really know them all that well. But what was really important for me was I was in a Bible study my junior year, and I got along with the guys really well. And really just during that time in prayer, we were able to share, you know, our struggles and what we were going through and how we could pray for one another. And so I thought that was so important because it was a different layer to that kind of the community that you need, you know?
Yeah.
And it's not like we didn't go out and do fun stuff together still. We still did those things, but it was just, you know, it was on a deeper level as well.
I think ideally you want both of those in your friendships. You want to have fun with them. Otherwise, you're not connecting.
Right,
If
yeah.
things are always serious all the time, like
Yeah.
that's no fun.
For sure.
But creating that space to go deeper, like asking questions, like, what are you struggling with? How can I pray for you? You know, and that's a good indicator too, if that person is willing to go deeper to get to know you and then reciprocate that, you praying for them. Because we're not just looking for people that are that for us. Like, we need to be a good friend too, not just constantly be taking from people. We need to be that for other people as well.
Yeah. I heard it said, like, if you want to have good friends, be a good friend.
Yeah.
You know, and I think there's so much truth in that. Because I feel like when you start going deeper into friendships and being very vulnerable with who you are and kind of peeling back the layers and just being raw, just like I struggle with XYZ. You know, when you began to do that, being able to have friends, that's the safe space. It almost is contagious because it's almost like if you have somebody sharing that with you, I feel like the natural responses are like, no, you know what? I feel like I can share maybe a struggle that I'm dealing with now. And so, so I think being able to go deeper, ask questions about faith, ask questions about purpose, ask questions about, like, you know, the struggles that you're having. And youth group, small groups, life group, you know, life groups that we have like on the weekends here or on Mondays for the high school girls, which Renee and Maddie both lead. And then we've got a guys group that happens on Mondays as well for the high schoolers. But like those types of settings allow for that.
And you got to be willing to open up, though. I mean, the problem back to it could be you. Like, you have to be willing to open up to people.
Yeah.
Because people can't read your mind. And so, like, sometimes we don't feel safe in those relationships, but you have to be willing to, like, take that first step. Granted, you need to get to know those people first and know their character so they're not just going to blab everything. But you have to be willing to open up. And sometimes we don't want to do that because it's scary. But it's worth it, like, to find those friendships. It's worth it.
Yeah, and I would say that the like deeper connections definitely need to be with Christian friends that we have. Because if they are trying to, like, if you came to someone that was of a worldly point of view, they're gonna give you answers based on, you know, what they believe, and that's not what we want. Like, that's why the Bible is so, it emphasizes having Christian community in the Bible, right? And so I think that is really important in terms of the people that we share. Like, you know, hey, I'm struggling with this or whatever, that they do believe in the same God that we do.
Yeah, for sure. That unequally yoked piece that it talks about in Scripture, you know, it's super important because a lot of times we think we can just connect with everybody and that it's not going to affect us. But like, especially, I can talk really well today. Especially, you know, if you're trying to grow deeper in your...
Does the audio pick up the rain at all? I think a little bit. Nice.
Our stomachs
It's
are growing.
moody.
Do we need to stop for a minute? Or okay.
You want to start with especially?
Especially. I'm trying to think. Oh, where the Bible's specific about being unequally yoked, like I think it's especially important for us to understand why that's there. And just like you were sharing, like if we go and try to have a deep friendship with someone who's outside of our belief and our faith, then there's not going to be that same mindset. Because a lot of times when we look at that verse of scripture and we think about marriage, we think about like boy-girl relationships, but it goes along with friendships for sure. So what is your influences, you know?
Yeah.
Show me your friends and I'll show you your future. But anyway, so yeah, that's good. Anybody else have anything to share about that?
Yeah, I think there's a level of trust you have to have with your friends too, right? Where you don't want to confide in someone and then they're telling everyone at school what you just talked to them about, right? Where you need to have those relationships and that trust with one another, and even have them trusting you as a friend that you're not going to go tell the person that they're saying hurt them and talk about it, where you need to be that safe space for them too. You know, I think that's just an important point to trust one another.
Yeah.
100%.
No, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. So, I mean, we talked about like the friends, the quality of friend that you are, the quality of friends that you surround yourself with. You know, really, do you feel emotionally connected to these friends? And a part of that's, you know, being deep and vulnerable, but choosing who you're being vulnerable with is very important. But at some point, you got to step out there and take that step, because otherwise you won't. You'll just be, you know, living in your room, on a screen, in a book, whatever you choose to do, because you don't want to be vulnerable. And maybe you've been hurt, you know, and so you're like, man, the last time I was vulnerable, somebody used that against me.
Yeah.
And that really, like, you got to really evaluate that as a person if that is the case, because now it's a mental thing. Because now you're taking what has happened to you emotionally and you're saying to yourself, everyone's going to be like this.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, that's a danger. And so I think something like that, a question to ask yourself, is really important to evaluate, why am I feeling lonely in this season? Because if it's because you're taking past hurt and trauma from a past friendship, and you're not dealing with it mentally, your self-talk, the things that we had talked about in our last episode with mental health, like if you keep telling yourself, like, this is going to happen to me again, this is going to happen to me again, it's probably going to happen to you again, or you're just never going to try.
Right. You're going to be stuck in that cycle.
Yeah.
It's like us licking our wounds. Like we were wounded, and you just keep focused on that wound. You keep licking that wound, and it can never heal. Like a dog.
I was getting ready to say,
And I don't lick my wounds.
can we just pause for a second? Where did that come from? I love going down these rabbit trails. Like, where do we get these sayings? Where did they come from? Where did they originate from?
It's like a dog licking its wounds. Obviously, they do it to heal themselves, but like.
So why do we use it if we
'cause
can't
our
heal ourselves?
mouths-
Like, if I get a scab, or I'm like, it doesn't help my scab, right?
Can we get that video of Randy just licking his thumb on repeat, please? That would be great.
I'm pretty sure we have enough incriminating evidence in all of my actions.
Anyway, if we keep focused on our hurt and what happened to us, we're always looking behind us, always looking behind us, always looking behind us. Like we can never move forward. And so your new friends aren't those old friends. Especially, hopefully you learned your lesson, like from whoever did hurt you. But we can't let that stop us from moving on and moving ahead, because there's lots of times seasons happen even in our friendships, like, right, they happen with our
100%.
careers and everything else, and even in our children's lives. They happen in friendships too, like maybe people that you were close to, like Chris said, like years ago, you had friends, and then you have different set of friends in college, and life kind of moves that way. Ideally, you can keep some close friends, and that's great if you can, but not getting stuck in the past is huge, and then not letting that be something that drives you from trusting people. It's a real crutch.
Yeah. And I would say something super practical. Like, if you find yourself in that situation, praying for friends.
Yeah.
Like, we serve a big God. We serve a God that says ask, right? And so I think one of those things that we sometimes use as a last resort is prayer. But really, like, as parents, obviously, we've got some experience in raising a teenager. Prayers before she was ever born, that she would love God, and that she would love people, and that she would be surrounded by people who would encourage her, and so just praying protection over them and stuff like that. And so as an individual, as a student, like you taking that step to pray, like, God, send me friends who encourage me and strengthen me in my relationship with you, that I can be my true self with, be vulnerable with. Because reality is no matter what relationship we have, there's going to be some form of conflict that is going to arise somewhere through that relationship. Whether it's a friendship, a marriage, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever it is, there's conflict that happens because there's two totally different people in this situation, right? But conflict isn't the bad thing. It's how you resolve the conflict that can make a difference, right? Because we can resolve conflict and it'd be a good thing. But if we react in anger and react, in our human fashion, it can be a bad thing. And so, but being able to not be afraid of that conflict is important as well in friendships.
That felt like a good note to leave off of. Well, so good. Just dang.
All right. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about? Like,
didn't we need to talk about summer FOMO?
This is summer FOMO. That was the whole.
Okay, well, we haven't said anything about summer FOMO yet.
You're so focused on summer FOMO.
I am, because that's what the topic was.
That's what Maddie called it, but it was geared towards this.
Maddie
gotta
called it
blame
break
it
a
on me.
word.
I think another thing we need to focus on is our purpose, and maybe we put too much focus on friends. We put too much focus on other people, and like, people don't give us purpose. I know sometimes it feels that way, that we get our purpose from people or what people think about us. But in reality, our purpose and our self-worth and our value needs to come directly from God. Because if we're always looking to other people to fill that need in us, to feel maybe connected or worth something, people will always fail us. And I think God designed us that way because He doesn't want anything else to take His place. Yeah. Like, yes, it's good for us to be in community, and God created us for community, and the iron sharpening iron. All that is true. But when we start focusing on other people to fulfill us and to take that place that God should only have, we get into trouble there too. Yeah. So maybe we're feeling lonely because we're putting too much trust in other people, and we're not truly putting it in God. Because God God knows you inside and out. Like, He knows you perfectly, and He loves you perfectly and accepts you just as you are. So I think probably that's a good starting place, is how's my relationship with God? And then moving on to, am I connecting with other people? And are these good friends? But I think number one should be, is God my everything? And maybe He's not. And maybe that's why you feel lonely.
It's good. It's good. It makes me think of a moment in time where I had a certain outfit on, and there was one of our students that just straight put me on blast in front of everybody.
What?
Just called me out. Just giving me up and down the road how my outfit was just terrible.
Was it at, like, here?
It was last night at you.
No way, dude.
I was like,
it's all right. Your daughter gives me a fit check every single Wednesday, so.
So it's one of those things, like, if that would have happened to me and I would have been like a student at that time and another student was doing that to me, crushed.
Yeah, for sure.
Crushed.
Yep.
I would have, like, I've got to go use the bathroom, and never came out. And I think you're right, especially, like, as a student, you're in this phase of life where you're still trying to figure out who you are and what your purpose is. And so to have the experience where you feel like people are judging you or don't accept you, it hurts, and that's reality, and that's not cool, that's not fair. But having a healthy understanding of who gives you worth and purpose is so important. If you get that now, you won't have to hide in a bathroom because somebody said something about your outfit. So, but yeah, it's so funny though. Like, it took me a very long time to be okay with that. I'll never
forget. Hating your outfits?
Huh?
With people hating your outfits?
Yeah. I mean, even my wife, I had to convince her at some point that there was an outfit that was going to be a pretty sweet outfit.
You still haven't convinced me.
Oh, no.
I mean, I was showing her pictures. I was like, no, look, this is it. She's like, eh. But anyway, so, like, I will never forget when we moved from Tulsa, Oklahoma, which is where we went to Bible school. you know, we were born and raised in West Virginia, and West Virginia, like, there's not much diversity in regards to culture. And so moving out to Tulsa, Oklahoma, like, there was much more culture involved, especially where we lived, in the area we lived. The church we went to was a really, really big church. So there was multiple like ethnic groups. There was multiple countries represented, nations represented. Oral Roberts University was right there. And so, again, just diverse. And so our styles changed. And then God called us to move back to West Virginia.
A very small town.
A very, very, very much smaller than what we grew up in. And boy, you thought that I was an alien. Like, and all I was wearing was slim jeans. I wasn't that skinny yet. I hadn't progressed to that
Were
yet.
they really slim though?
No, they were more like straight.
But they were like, you know, and then I would wear like certain shoes, and like they had like the studs, like the affliction shirts, like that had all the like
Very Y2K.
Oh gosh, you were like Jersey Shore dad over there then.
Oh no!
I wasn't a dad
Dude,
yet.
not
Thank
yet.
you very much.
Oh, nah. But like with the affliction and the bedazzled rhinestones and the not straight.
The pants had
Not
like the
straight
big
jeans,
threads that had
Like
made
the
like
buckle look.
Yeah, the buckle look.
Yeah.
Which buckle has never changed.
Yeah, it was
Like they
Yes.
still have that look.
Yes.
But anyway, so yeah,
Oh,
so it was
man.
like you would have thought this small little country town that we moved to be the youth pastors that had one student. The people who were a part of that church at the time thought that I had just come from a different world.
Yeah.
And I got so many comments and so many like,
But you didn't care.
I was like, look, I like this, and this is what I'm going to wear. And I'm not wearing hunting boots, and I'm not wearing flannel, and I'm not wearing Carhartt. I'm just not going to do it. Until I got older, and then Carhartt was actually cool. Like, it wasn't it wasn't just something that the worker people, you know, wore.
Worker people.
The workers and the hunters. Now it's cool to wear Carhartt. Anyway,
True.
that was a rabbit trail.
That was a
That
rabbit
was
trail.
a rabbit trail.
I'm a little lost.
His style has changed again.
I was
Obviously, yeah.
I was talking about being confident and how what was said last night I could have hurt me, but I've learned who I am in Christ. So that thing.
Your daughter jumped on that bandwagon
She
too.
sure did.
Oh man,
I know, right?
brutal.
I'm telling you, man, it's one thing to do it to you, but to me, come on, I'm a safe space.
But you didn't let it phase you. He's like, I don't care.
It is great that you can trust us and the internet with your feelings on that. So thank you.
That's funny.
We are all your friends.
Yay!
Yay.
One thing I kind of want to comment on loneliness. I think sometimes, and this kind of goes to like the summer FOMO topic, it can be easy for us to want to compromise our loneliness with like hanging out with the wrong type of people. Just because we're like, oh, I'm lonely, I'll just go hang out with so-and-so or these people, or I'll just go to this place. And really, that's not the correct answer, right? We know that we should be still surrounding ourselves with the right people. But what you have to really be content with in loneliness is like, you just have to find peace in that, I think, because, this applies to singleness. Like whenever people are single, they're like, I'm in a season of singleness, right? And so, but I think when you are in a season of singleness, you do have to find a sort of peace that, okay, if God doesn't have anyone prepared for me, that's fine, right? And if you're lonely, you have to be in the same place. Like, look, I want to have community, but I don't need to be with people,
Yes.
right? So, and I think that's really important as well.
It's very important.
Good. I love how seasons is used in the Christian community.
Oh, yes.
Like, I'm just going through a season. You know, just going through a season. Like, are you going through a season? That season's a really long season. Like, maybe there's something deeper to this. Like, seasons generally change every few months, maybe sometimes 6 months, depending on where you're living. But like, they change, and you've been in a season for like 3 years.
Let's
talk about
I think
this.
John Christ has a bit on that. Like, it was from one of his older videos, but he talks about how like churches handle like letting someone go or something like that. And they're like, it was just not the right season of life for us or something like that. It's like, oh.
Can I be so for real quick with
Hey,
you guys?
we did
'Cause,
talk about being vulnerable.
yeah, I would like to be vulnerable with all of you, and I really don't want any judgment for this.
She's talking to you too.
Okay.
Hang on, I got to prepare myself.
Okay. So y'all know I didn't grow up in a Christian household or anything, right?
Yes.
When I heard that term, I'm going through a season, I literally thought you guys were changing seasonings from your pantry. Like you needed to buy new salts. You needed to buy new, I don't know, like Old Bay. Like I totally never connected the dots
through
till
a season.
Yeah,
So
going through a
when you're-
season, like I'm
Seasoning.
changing
So you
my
were going
seasoning.
through
Yeah.
you were going through
My
the
spices
pantry
are-
to the
Changing my
seasons.
spices,
My
yeah.
spices have lost their flavor.
Well, you know
So
what they
bad,
say
but-
when salt loses his flavor,
I'm gonna toss it out.
just toss it out.
Toss it out. That's in
That's
the Bible.
It
biblical.
says that. Yeah.
job, it's in the
What
Bible.
good is salt?
If
without
salt
it-
is lost
without
its saltiness.
Yes, without its saltiness. Correct.
Listen,
It's
I
useless.
didn't grow up in a Christian household. I'm still working on learning. Okay,
Hey, no, that's
I
cool.
appreciate it. But
That's awesome. Well, okay. So
Good to
no.
know.
So now do you know what going through seasons means?
you're throwing your salt and changing it. You just- no. Yes.
All right, cool. But it's really easy. If you grow up in a church, it's really easy for you to kind of like use these terms
Yeah.
and expect everybody else in the world to understand what in the world
yeah.
you're talking about. And so that's one thing I appreciated about Jesus. And Jesus, like, he met the people where they were at. Like, you know, when he starts talking about farming, when he starts talking about, food or whatever like that, he's bringing them in and going like, hey, I realize I could use some really big terms right now, but I'm not going to. I'm going to tell you a story. And I appreciate that. Because when I talk to people whose vocabulary is much more educational than mine, we just dealt with this the other day in the office. There was a term thrown out by Chris, and he kind of looks at me like, yeah, you know what I'm talking about, right? And I'm like, yeah. Like, I went through Bible school, but I'd never heard that term. So what are you talking about? And then he says it, and I'm like, oh, yeah. It's just not the term. And so, like, I just feel like it makes me, I'm like, oh, crap. Well, maybe I'm not as smart as I thought I was. And so I can only imagine somebody coming into it, not being raised in a church and like hearing, you know, it's seasons or, you know, what's redeemed. Like you don't really hear that too much in normal life, redeemed, unless you redeem a coupon.
Yeah.
Like, but like, it's like, so it's funny. It's a side quest. Sorry.
Speaking of Jesus, looking at his life, and it says that there's nothing essentially that we've gone through that he hasn't experienced. And so Jesus, with what should have been his closest friends, were his disciples at the time, a lot of them just aggravated the snot out of him, right? They did stupid stuff all the time. And then you've got the one that literally betrayed him.
Yeah.
Like, talk about, like, just so much hurt and wounds that he had. But he wasn't here for friendships, right? I know he developed them along the way as he was here on earth. He developed the disciples, and I'm sure they were his closest friends. But Jesus is moved with those feelings of compassion for us because he knows what it feels like to have people betray him, and he knows what it feels like for people to not get you and not understand you. So again, back to that, loving God and trusting that God has your back because he understands you, I think is so key.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's something that I didn't start focusing on until later in life, was like the fact that Jesus had supper with the dude that was going to betray him. Like, still on the inner circle. He was still a part of the 12, sitting down, breaking bread with him.
And he calls him out too.
Yeah.
That's the crazy thing.
Yeah.
Well, what you were saying, it kind of made me think of like a lot of the episodes in The Chosen, like how like the guy that plays Jesus, he just like he gives this look to the disciples and like the Pharisees and like certain religious leaders sometimes, and it's just like, oh yeah, that wasn't the right response, was it? You know? So I think that's a good point there.
The concept of thinking that Jesus didn't deal with this stuff, like, it can separate us from thinking that he cares, I think, sometimes. But to really understand and know that he was tempted like us, that he experienced these things like us, like, wow.
He experienced heartache.
Dude. And so, like, wow, he knows what we're going through.
Yeah.
And so that's very, to me, it's very, it's encouraging, you know,
Yeah.
going through those seasons.
So I think you've got those three things to evaluate. What am I thinking about God? Who is God to me? am I being vulnerable with people? And, you know, can people be vulnerable with me? And, you know, do I have a good friend group? And if you don't, like, pray. Ask God for those friends.
Yeah. And look, if you got parents that love Jesus and that are invested in your life, talk with them. Have them help. You know, have them pray with you. If you're not in that situation, hey, that's why we're here as youth pastors, as youth leaders. Like, we want to be able to help guide, direct you through these things. And so, so don't be afraid to be vulnerable with us as well. So, yeah. So, I mean, I don't know, guys. What do you guys think? Anything else?
I think we're good.
Dun, 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 dun.
Phone down. All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. And we'll see you next time.
Next time it
Peace out.
is. Bye.